Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Tuesday, 17th September 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. The ECCB Governor suggests an ambitious target for economic growth for the government of St. Lucia. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. St. Lucia is being urged to undertake structural reforms to double its economy over the next 10 years. Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Timothy Antwine, proposes an annual 7% growth to achieve the transformation of St. Lucia's economy and by extension that of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Zane Romulus of the DBS News World has more.
In January 2023, during the launch of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank's 40th anniversary celebrations, a carrion call was issued by Governor Timothy Antwine to the Currency Union to commit to the next decade of collective transformative action named the Big Push. Member countries have been challenged to develop and implement strategies and policies to double the ECCU GDP in 10 years, growing the combined economy to an estimated $44 billion. For St. Lucia, this would mean doubling the economy from $5.74 billion to $11.48 billion by the end of 2033. With the current projections of growth of 4% for the next 3 years, the question is how can St. Lucia achieve this ambitious goal? During a discussion on DBS television on Wednesday evening, Governor Antwine explained that this could be achieved with annual growth of 7% over the next 10 years.
Now, that's easier said than done. I will say that, but that's the basic arithmetic. If we grow this economy by 7% consistently for the next decade, the compounding effect of that will be, at the end of that decade, we will double the size of this economy. So we'll move from just under 6 to 12.
The governor has stressed that the Big Push is not just focused on the economy, but speaks to the broader transformation of the country and the currency union.
It is about creating opportunity for St. Lucians, enlarging the possibilities, where underemployed are fully employed, where St. Lucians realize their God-given potential. It is about the capacity to maximize the tourism spend. We have tourists coming, how do we get them to spend more when they come to St. Lucia? It's about reducing our food import bill. We are still, for an agricultural country, we're still importing too much of our food. It's about how our young people fully express themselves and feel they have a fair shot in this economy.
St. Lucia remains the largest economy in the currency union, contributing some 26.5% to regional GDP for 2023. The ECCB projects that St. Lucia's economy will grow by 4% over the next 3 years, powered by tourism and construction.
Tourism has been very strong, a strong recovery in St. Lucia. And so the 4% that we project in terms of average growth for St. Lucia over the next 3 years, this year, next year, and the following, is predicated on strong tourism, continued strong tourism, and of course, key to that will be continued growth in our source markets, the US, Canada, the UK in particular, and also the Caribbean, and construction. And when I speak of construction, I'm speaking about public and private, but particularly the public construction, the infrastructure projects. There are several projects that are planned. Some have started, some are planned to commence soon. Once those projects move, we will see a growth impact.
To achieve St. Lucia's Big Push, the governor points out that key actions on crime reduction, human capital formation, digital transformation, financial sector development, fiscal adjustment, and climate resilience are imperative. For the DBS News World, I am Zane Romulus.
The matter of the free movement of OECS nationals a right under the revised Treaty of Bastille and part of the OECS contingency rights policies, was recently discussed in a region-wide webinar in which Attorney General of St. Kitts and Nevis Garth Wilkin participated. Glenn Bart of SKN Newsline reports.
Sub-region's free movement of nationals was introduced to ensure hassle-free travel between member countries of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. Attorney General Wilkin reaffirmed the position of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis to the protocol.
To me, true free movement with contingent rights as a fundamental part of that is central to the vision of regional integration and harmony that underpins the OECS and the EC Economic Union. Our strong sub-regional union, our model sub-regional union, is founded on the principles of collaboration, shared prosperity, and mutual support among the protocol member states. So for the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, the free movement of people within the OECS is critical to fostering economic growth, enhancing the labor market, improving the quality of life for our citizens and residents, and by allowing citizens to move freely across our OECS borders for work and education, the government can better address skill shortages, stimulate innovation, and encourage the exchange of knowledge and expertise. This mobility also facilitates the flow of goods and services, which is vital for economic resilience and the diversification of all of our territories.
This year marks the 14th anniversary of the signing of the revised Treaty of Bastille. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
During a White House press briefing on Thursday last, Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre was asked about potential threats and hate crimes targeting migrants amid former President Trump's claims about Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio. More in this Forbes breaking news item.
Are you about a potential rise in threats or even hate crimes targeting migrants?
I mean, when you have national leaders spewing hateful or lifting up hateful rhetoric and bizarre smear that has been debunked, as I just stated when I answered this question moments ago, that is dangerous. That is, yes, we are concerned. It is dangerous. I mean, you all have reported how communities, specifically Haitian communities, are fearing for their life because of how this is being lifted up. And this is about tearing communities apart. And we deserve more. Our country deserves more than that. So there is a concern. Anytime you see this type of rhetoric, this hateful rhetoric, these types of smears, yes, it could lead to dangerous scenarios. And that's why if you are a national leader in this country, if you're a leader of any kind, you should condemn this type of rhetoric. You should condemn it. We deserve more. And again, I talk about our shared values. That's what the president wants. He wants to be able to, so that people to get together around our shared values. And that is what matters, and that is what is important for our country.
The U.S. top diplomat hinted at the UN force as an option to address a funding crisis for the Kenya-led mission, which depends on voluntary contributions. The U.S. and Canada have provided a bulk of funds so far. Peacekeeping operations are funded from a special budget. This Africa News item has more.
What will the future of the Kenya-led mission in Haiti look like? The United States of America and Ecuador circulated a draft resolution on Friday which would extend the mandate of the mission until October 2025, while the UN plans a transition to a peacekeeping force. The mission has seen almost 400 Kenyan police deployed since June. The multinational force should eventually consist of 2,500 personnel. Peacekeeping operations are funded from a special UN budget, unlike the Kenya-led mission, which has been mostly financed by the US and Canada. If the proposed Security Council resolution mentions gains made by the UN-backed multinational mission, gangs are still powerful. Haiti last week expanded its state of emergency to cover the whole country. The last UN peacekeeping operation in Haiti left in 2017. It was blamed for dumping infected sewage into a river, causing a deadly cholera outbreak. An internal UN report found that at least 134 UN peacekeepers exploited Haitian children in a sex ring.
24 soldiers and police officers from Jamaica arrived in Haiti on Thursday to join a UN-backed mission led by Kenya to fight powerful gangs. France 24 English has this report.
Long promised and long awaited, a contingent of 20 soldiers and 4 police officers from Jamaica, as well as 2 Belizean soldiers, have now touched down in Port-au-Prince, where they join the 400 Kenyan police deployed in June and July.
We gather here today for the sole purpose of welcoming our brothers from Jamaica and Belize for this special mission that we are undertaking. And I can tell the Haitian community and the Haitian people, as I said earlier, we are not going to fail you.
The mission's mandate is to counter gangs, improve security conditions in the country, and secure critical infrastructure. In May, Jamaica pledged their support for the mission, promising a contingent of 200 officers, but the Prime Minister said it was not possible to deploy them all at once.
Haiti is the example of what could happen if states and governments do not take the problem seriously.
This mission, supposed to have 2,500 officers and a budget of 533 million euros, is still below the 500 mark 11 months into its one-year mandate, with an estimated funding shortfall of 200 million. Kenyan officers have even suffered delays to their pay. Meanwhile, 600,000 Haitians were internally displaced in just the first half of the year. And the streets of the capital are 80% controlled by gangs, with murders back on the rise since the arrival of the first troops.
Police suspect the recent murder of a caretaker in Tobago may be gang-related. Details in this CNC3 news item with Elizabeth Gonzalez.
Alvin Daniel, a caretaker, had just pulled up to work with a female colleague on Wednesday morning along North Side Road, Paltavere. But before he could exit the car, gunmen pulled alongside him and opened fire. He died at the Roxborough General Hospital. Police suspect it may be drug-related. However, relatives believe Daniel was one of 22 victims of the island's rising gun violence.
The conversation won't stop. It will get worse.
Daniel was remembered by relatives as talented and family-oriented. Police said they are aware of the growing frustration among Tobagonians, but assured them that officers are fighting with everything they have.
When we have it under control in certain areas, we are seeing that areas which are not known to have such activities, we are seeing that those areas are now experiencing it.
But Tobago Chamber Chairman Martin George does not believe police are putting their best foot forward in this fight.
If this is the best effort from the TTPS, then they are clearly failing in their job. They are clearly failing in the job of making the nation safe and secure.
PDP leader Watson Duke urged Chief Secretary Farley Augustine to establish the Homeland Security Department he recommended months ago.
I can help you set up the department for free. I don't want no money. I'll do it for free for my people of Tobago. Otherwise, you are wasting time and you're a bag of hot air, wasting time.
Police noted that while homicides have increased, other crimes have been decreasing. And as the island prepares for its main carnival event next month, police assured ramped-up efforts. Elizabeth Gonzalez, CNC3 News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.